Inselmilkom, Sinjuri, għal din il-parti ta' Culture News. Ninsabu għawek ġo post storiku ħafna, il-Casino Maltese ġewwa l-Belt Valletta, fej qed nitaqgħu ma' l-Ambaxxatriċi tal-Austria. Ġejna nżuru l-Eċċellenza tagħha Erika Bernhard biex nitkellmu fuq l-aspetti kulturali bejn l-Austria u Malta. Thank you very much, Ambassador, for greeting us today.
Thank you for receiving me in your broadcast, and I'm really pleased to be together with you and to be able to talk a little bit about Austrian culture and whatever interests you.
What brings you here to Malta? I mean, did you have a career path in the diplomatic service?
Yes, correct. Well, I've been in the diplomatic service since the last millennium, I have to say already, and I have had a number of postings abroad. Actually, I have to say I was always very lucky with those postings. So, of course, in our system, you know, we have the system of rotation. That means that sometimes we are posted abroad and sometimes we work at the Foreign Ministry. And my postings abroad include Lisbon in Portugal, afterwards Brussels, of course. Then I've been posted to the Austrian Embassy in Ljubljana, Slovenia. And well, then I used to be Austrian Consul General to Strasbourg in France. And well, now I'm the Austrian ambassador to Malta, and honestly, I'm very happy to be here. Well, the Austrian embassy to Malta is non-resident. That means we are continuously following an embassy's work without any break. But I come to Malta, well, at least once a month, sometimes even twice a month, and I think I could not do much more if I was permanently here. So we really try to be very active and in all the fields of the embassy work, you know, which includes, of course, political work, but then also the support of economic relations. Then, of course, the consular work, meaning that we work with the Austrians living in Malta, but of course we also support Austrian tourists in Malta who need anything from the embassy. And then, of course, we must not forget the cultural sector, the cultural field, because we promote Austrian artists coming to Malta, and we really promote exchange. So that's also a very important field. So we are not resident, but we do all the embassy work, of course.
You're here on this occasion because of your National Day. Can you tell us a bit about it and a bit of background?
With pleasure, with pleasure. Austria celebrated the National Day on 26 October, and well, at the origin of this National Day is the declaration of permanent neutrality by Austrian Parliament on 26 October 1955. So this neutrality is also something which particularly links us to Malta, because now in the EU there are only us, our two countries, and Ireland who are neutral EU member states, which is also a means of particularly cooperating, because of course our countries are involved in the European Union's security and defense policy, and usually Austria and Malta speak with one voice, you know. And that's because we are neutral EU member states. So it's really important that we share our positions and that we speak with one voice as neutrals.
You mentioned Austrians living in Malta. How many Austrians do you think are here?
Well, there are several hundreds of Austrians living here. There are different groups of Austrians. Of course, there are those Austrians who have already moved to Malta long ago and who have worked here and now are retired but still stay in Malta, of course. So those who have been here for a long time, who have raised their children here in Malta. Then there are other young Austrians coming to Malta for work. Some of them only stay for a few years, that's those international careers, and after a few years they move on to other countries. So there are different groups, but we also have an Austrian association in Malta, and they are very active, they have their regular meetings. It's very nice for them also, to keeping up with contact with other Austrians. And of course, during the pandemic, those meetings were suspended, of course, But now I'm so glad that the association is able to have the regular meetings again. Yes, those meetings, of course, include also Christmas dinner, of course. I mean, it's just also a matter of identity, because Austrians living in Malta, of course, they have lots of Maltese friends and they're living here in the Maltese community, of course. But then for them to meet from time to time other Austrians, it's just, it's a matter of identity, and then it's very nice with them, I think.
You mentioned the Austrian consulate in Malta, which has been represented by Mr. Michael Bianchi for many years. How does that relationship work?
Oh, this is an excellent collaboration. So, Mr. Michael Bianchi has been the Austrian Honorary Consul General for more than 21 years now. So there is a lot of experience, of course, as you can imagine. And actually, he is one of the very few Honorary Consuls General. Usually we only have Honorary Consuls, but here it's a Honorary Consul General. So this is really something extraordinary. And no, it's an excellent cooperation. And of course, I mentioned we are a non-resident embassy. So therefore, for us, it's particularly important to have someone like him and his team on the ground. They really follow what's going on here. And then for the consular activities, I mean, it would not be feasible from Austria, but here the Honorary Consulate General, as soon as there arrives anything to an Austrian tourist or so, they are immediately into it, and then they of course they have the emergency telephone, so that means they are available 24/24, 7/7. So it's really this is a necessity also. There is the direct flight from Vienna to Valletta and back. So we have lots of Austrian tourists here, and also Maltese going to Austria. So with so many Austrian tourists here, it's really important to have a very active institution here on the ground. The current situation causes an energy crisis, a financial crisis, and what else to come. So an highlight should be how we get out of this crisis together, and how we find shared solutions. And there the European Union is really making progress. You have seen the latest developments where there are steps for a common purchase of gas, for instance. So there are steps in the right direction. Of course, the crisis is a challenge to the Union, but our countries work together to find new solutions, and it's about innovation also. Mm-hmm. So in the EU, we should try to turn these challenges and this crisis also into opportunities. Because what we face right now is that there is a new focus on the use of renewable energies, and I think this is a true highlight. Mm-hmm. So, and of course, thank you for asking the question, because we have to communicate this as well, that we have to use this situation also as an opener towards innovative solutions.
Mm. With regards to environmental issues, what is the vision in Austria, the way forward?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, I think all our countries are already faced with effects of climate change. And therefore it's most timely that we work on becoming more resilient towards climate change. So in Austria there have been quite a few steps taken in this direction. I mean, now linked to the crisis, it's more complicated than it seemed. I mean, it is already a very, very complex issue, but now it's even has become more complex. So for instance, the government has introduced a ticket for Austrians for the use of all public transport. It's not for free as in Malta, but it's now much cheaper than it used to be before. And it has been introduced last year, and we already see that many more customers use this opportunity of public transport. So this is a step in the right direction. Now, of course, Austria's dependency on gas from Russia has been rather high. During the last month, there have been many steps in order to get less dependent, and that means also a reinforcement of the use of sustainable energy.
What initiatives are taking place in Austria to deal with inflation and rising prices?
Well, just recently, every Austrian citizen received 500 euros by the government, every grown-up Austrian, and every child received 250 euros in order to cope with the rising energy prices and also other prices. But of course it is an issue because this is a high investment by the government, and well, this has been possible now, but let us see how we will continue.
It may not be sustainable.
Let us see. It's an enormous cost also for the government. Yeah, enormous cost.
Grazzi sinjuri li qed tissegwu il-Culture News illum. Għandkom xi kummenti ibatuhom permezz tal-WhatsApp fuq in-numru li jidher fuq l-iskrin. Jiena Hogg għal Net TV sa nifqu għal waqfa qasira.